What's up, family? I am back again with another quick note. I just wanted to talk about something that was kind of on my heart this morning. I'm actually headed to do some photos for a venue that is getting ready to open soon. And then I just actually, so it's 8:30 right now in the morning. I just got back at 2 a.m. from a wedding last night. And it just came to me to share this message because I think some people don't know what it's always like to be an entrepreneur, and so sometimes it can be fantasized and sometimes it can be glamorized. But today I kind of want to talk to some of you guys about the cost of freedom, right? And so we kind of talk a lot about being free from your 9-to-5, gaining financial freedom. But I just want you guys to realize that there is a cost to freedom, right? And so freedom isn't free. And so what does it look like when you're trying to embark on this entrepreneur journey? You guys know I transitioned out of a full-time career as a pharmacist and was able to replace my salary and build a business that has been doing very well for me and my family. But I don't want people to think because you're tired of going to work or because you just don't like the people at your job that entrepreneurship is always a better option, right? And so that's something we got to consider when we're trying to make that move. Is always know whether it's the right thing for you before you leave your job. Let's be honest, guys. I know I'm in my 30s. I'm getting ready to turn 33 this month, and I got responsibilities, right? I got a house, I got cars. There's things that need to be done as far as taking care of my family. And so we can't make decisions when it comes to our career solely based on passions or how we feel, right? And so I just wanted to just share a perspective that most people don't share of what entrepreneurship can often be like. And this is kind of a mix of not only myself, but even talking to my colleagues. We're all kind of going through the same challenges as we go along this journey. And so I think it's always good to just consider what life may be like. And so y'all know me, I'm a country boy, grew up in the church. And so when I give y'all points, I love for them to start with the same letter. And so we got 3 G's, yo. We got 3 G's related to the cost of freedom. And the first one is it's gonna take a lot of grind, right? And I know this one may seem obvious, but you hear people say, "Oh, I quit my 9-to-5 so I can work even more," and that's really the reality of it. If you want to leave your job because you're tired of working, you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. If you want to leave your job because I just don't feel like getting up, I'm tired of getting up, I wish I could control my life and stay asleep and rest and live luxury, don't become an entrepreneur. Because I work 3 times as much as I ever worked in my job. Like, y'all, I don't think y'all understand. I have to wake up in the morning and work. I have to, in the evening, work. And I'll be working, y'all, sometimes I'll be up to 2 o'clock in the morning. And this is me, because what you don't realize is you are the engine behind your business. And until you scale to a certain point, you're everything for your business, right? You're the person doing research. You're the person that's doing the marketing. You're the person that's doing the sales. You're the person that's actually doing the product or service that you provide. And this can be a lot. It's going to be way more than 9-to-5. I've worked more 12-hour days, 16-hour days, probably in the last month than I did my entire time in my career, right? With a job, you can do your job for the most part, depending on what you do for a living. And when you get home, you're home. And you get to relax and enjoy life and chill until the next day. So I encourage you to know it's going to take a lot of grind to get a business off the ground, to get an idea off the ground, but it's possible. But just know you're going to work more than you ever worked before in your life. And so if working itself, the idea of working, the idea of putting in work, the idea of being consistent, the idea of trying hard is what makes you not like your job, I guarantee you're going to be very disappointed, because it's going to take 10 times the effort in order to get a business to either start, grow, or sustain and scale. And so grind is very important. The second thing you guys got to realize is it's going to take a lot of growth, right? When you're working a job, you can do the same. If you master your job, if you know what you're doing at work, you can be at that level to the moon comes down. You know, like, you can stay at that job forever. There's nothing, for the most part, you have a task you have to do. They pay you to do the task, and you just do that every day. And I think that's a lot of why some of us get frustrated with work, is because it's the same thing over and over again, right? But you got to realize, when you get into entrepreneurship, you're going to have to stretch yourself to grow, right? It's almost like being in school again, because you're going to have to read again, y'all. You're going to have to get some books into us, right? We're going to have to do research. We're going to have to, I feel like, and it's crazy, because I almost went back to school, because I'm like, as much work as I put in every day, every week, every year, studying and honing in on my crafts when it comes to marketing, branding, my skill set as far as photography and videography and cinematography, I feel like I deserve a degree. I feel like the degree would be easier to get than the amount of work that I put in, which is crazy. And so growth and changing and developing is a huge part of entrepreneurship. And so if you're a person who loves their comfort zone and like consistency as far as what to expect on a day-to-day basis, entrepreneurship may be a tough choice. It may be a tough choice, right? Because challenges come every day. You don't know what you'll wake up to. You don't know which client will be upset about something. You don't know what business that you depend on might close. All kind of things can happen. And so being flexible enough to know that you're going to have to grow, and you're going to change, and you're going to get to a new level in the process is an important thing to know. And then the last thing, the third G, so we talked about you're going to have to grind. You know, there has to be a season of growth, a continuous season of growth. And the last thing is grit, y'all. And so we have to realize that you're going to fail a lot in entrepreneurship, right? And when you're working for yourself, there's no one to hype you up. There's no employee. Y'all, I don't have no employee of the month. I am the employee of the everything. I don't get no certificate for doing my job, right? You don't get incentives and reward. Like, your reward for doing what you're supposed to do in the business is actually making money, right? Now, I will say that is the biggest benefit, because at a job you can work as much as you want. Even if there is an award, there's a cap to it. Fortunately, when you do own your own business and you're building something, there is no limit to how much you can make if you're using a scalable model, right? Now, if you're doing something like, let's say, I don't want to give an example because I don't want to be offensive at all, but there are some businesses that are really tough to scale and make a lot of money, right? So if you're selling a product that's $2 and it takes you 2 hours to make it, there isn't but so much time and money that can be made. But if you're willing to pick a model that can scale, something that can increase value as you develop your skill, there's an unlimited amount of money. But you got to know that you're still going to have grit, because even when you do get money, there's still so many obstacles in entrepreneurship, whether it's opening a building and going through permits and paying fees for this and paying fines for that and buying equipment and people saying no and having consultation calls and people not responding and getting ghosted. It is an up and down battle, guys. Like, it takes tough skin to be an entrepreneur. Like, if you can't handle denial, when I say denial, man, I'm talking about, it's crazy because the statistics show that most people gonna say no. So you gotta ask yourself, can I wake up and face rejection every day, right? Knowing that the yeses that I get shall sustain me and help me grow my business, but can I have the grit to still smile when things didn't go the way that I planned? And So these are things that I want you guys to be thinking about if you're trying to develop your skills and transition into your passion, transition into your own business. For me, I encourage you guys, if possible, try to do both at the same time, right? So, you might work at your job from 9 to 5, but maybe from 5 to 9, you're building your business, and see if your business is sustainable before you quit your job. I'm never an advocate of someone leaving their career or quitting their job because of their feelings or their frustrations, but it has to make sense, guys. We got responsibilities, and we want to do this thing responsibly. But just know there's a lot of things you're going to have to do. It's going to include the grind. It's going to include the growth. It's going to include the grit. But you can do it. Let me say that. Let me end on a positive note. I did it. I was able to leave my job and build a sustainable career. And now I'm able to coach people on how to do the exact same thing, right? And so if you need a community of people who are doing great things, who are making an impact, who are changing their lives, who are encouraging each other, who are believing in each other, I encourage you to join my community. I've started a community called Media Mastery, right? The link is in the bio. This is a platform where I coach and teach entrepreneurs how to take media and make money with it, how to turn your passions into revenue, how to gain that financial freedom we talked about earlier. And so I look forward to helping you, because I know if you made it to this part of this video, there's something that you need to get to the next level. And it might not be in a university. You might not need to pay 6 figures in student loans like I did. You might just need to be surrounded by the right people who can help you believe and come up with a strategy to be successful, right? Some of us have the passion, we don't wrote down the notes, but we don't have the strategy. And so in this community, not only me, but other professionals who have made it and have been successful will be breaking down how we did it, y'all. It's enough for everybody to eat, enough for everybody to be successful. So click the link and join me in the community. We just launched. Today is actually September 1st. It's going down. So join us, and I'll see you guys on the next video.